put that out. And you'd asked me to send him a letter on plowing around the town hall, and that's been done. Conservation Commission. Emergency management.
I'm sorry, back up to the road agent. In the big storms, I know that he plows down the paths, but when we get ready and we're pushing it back, we need to push the roads, all the town roads back from edge to edge. Right? That's the way they should be doing it.
Yeah, they wing it back on the second go.
Right, okay.
My
I just want to make sure, because it's not being done on all the roads.
In front of Zena's house here,
Right?
that
State.
has not been,
Yeah, but no,
Ah.
Brookfield's responsible for plowing that in the wintertime.
Actually, that's state highway.
No, it's Brookfield's responsibility to plow Lyford Road in the wintertime.
Lyford Road, yes.
And that's part of Lyford Road.
Okay. So we need another letter to the road agent saying he's responsible for that?
Well, they haven't plowed it in, what, 2 years now?
Yeah, it's been a few years.
I don't know, I think it's, I don't know, personally, I think it should be plowed, but that's just one person's opinion. They all get different opinions on whether it's better to have that plowed or go around the tip there, so.
It makes it hard to do this.
Yeah.
There.
Part of the problem is, in the past, there was also the problem of the plow pushing the snow back, and there went her fence that was there. So that was also, I know, part of the issue at the time anyway. But tell me what you want, I'll pass it on.
I personally think it should be plowed, but I'm only one person, so we need to get input from some others.
You live on the road, Tom? What do you think?
If you're gonna come out of Lyford Road, when I come out of Lyford Road, if I'm going to Sanbornville, I go through the cut around so I can see. If you pull up to the stop sign, you're gonna be a big blind spot.
I never thought
So
of
I
that.
use it if it's open. If it's not open,
So you go there even if you're gonna turn left?
yeah, I'll go there and turn left.
Yeah.
Oh, I never thought of that.
Because you can see a lot better. If you
Yep.
just pull up to the stop sign, you're looking way back here, usually the windows are snow
And foggy and
Or if you've got a truck, you know, with a cap on it, you can't see.
that have dark windows on
You
them.
can't see.
Roll down the window, pull up close slowly, see if I see headlights coming in my rear view mirror.
Just as a note, in the state of New York where I came from, they're eliminating all those angle entrances. They make them all T entrances now, just as a safety thing.
Yeah.
Maybe we should talk to the state's road.
Is there potential of moving up that way and closing that off? And making
You have to
the
talk to
cross?
Mr. Williamson, you'd be on his front lawn.
I don't know, it would all depend on how
Through your yard?
the property lines through my
Zena,
yard.
well, no, I mean, up this way more.
I can only tell you that
Oh.
at least one property owner would have serious concerns about that issue. And the
Yes.
reason I say that is I brought it up with the property owner. It took me a couple of years to get my head back in the right location because that tree blocks all the headlights shining into her house.
No, oh, I'm sorry.
And
Yeah, he's talking about moving it to the other side of the house.
I'm
Coming-
saying moving
coming
it
in
up from the corner, moving it this way.
Coming
up
in
the road.
between me and
Zena
Zena
or,
owns that land. That's a separate lot of record.
Right.
There's 2 acres there.
no, either buy a chunk of that and put a road there and block off where the tree is so nobody can go on that, or move it further up this way. Now, I realize for bringing in fire equipment and everything else are all other issues, but from a safety point of view, I put them on a dead-end road.
Anyway, as far as the tree goes,
Yeah.
there would be serious resistance. I can vouch for that.
So at this point, I think we just need to plow the little curve out.
Okay.
It all depends on who owns that little tiny.
Zena owns it,
Yes, I know.
but it's been plowed for,
Well, the state snuck that little turnout in there on somebody some time ago, and it's been that way ever since.
I understand that.
And the state doesn't want to give it back.
On your deed.
Right. But the state won't give it back. They already asked.
Okay, emergency management, we've already had that. school, I can only tell you it's ahead of schedule.
There was a good article in the paper yesterday on it, though. Yesterday.
It's going very well. Our biggest challenge that surprised us is the geothermal controls. 3 days, the room temperatures will be good, and then maybe Friday afternoon, in anticipation of school closing, the temperature starts coming down and people are still in the building. Or
Sounds like a programming.
last Monday, the high school and middle school had good heat, but for some reason over the weekend, the vote temperature came way down, and they were like 54 degrees in the morning, and it was a little cool. So, again, this is fine tuning, and we're getting there, and it's gotten much better, but it's surprising how much effort it's taken to get it fine tuned. Heritage Commission.
Well, we were scheduled to have our meeting tonight, or not. Now I moved it to tomorrow night. We may not. So if,
I vote to move it to next month.
no, because next month we're doing a breakfast.
Oh.
It may get postponed to next Wednesday night, the 18th, in all likelihood. I'll go home tonight. Ron Pryor has submitted his letter of recommendation from the Heritage Commission effective January 1st.
Recommendation or resignation?
Resignation.
Did I say re-
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's he recommending?
I'm sorry. His resignation as of January 1st, 2012. His term was up this year anyway, which means I am the last surviving member of the original Heritage Commission. But likely to remain. But we do have a new person that would like to be appointed as an alternate member of the Heritage Commission. Her name is Susan Rabin, and her term would be up in 2015, so I am offering that to the, would like the selectmen to approve that appointment.
So moved.
Second.
Thanks.
I assume she lives in town? I'm not familiar with the name.
She and her husband own,
On Governor's Road, the second house on the right-hand side as you're going, the one with the pond.
the one with the pond, and there actually could be some,
Ken Goodrich's old house.
yes. So,
We have a first and a second. We have a vote?
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Let me be sure Virginia gets a copy of that too. Since she tracks those. And I'm supposed to meet one of the installation contractors tomorrow at noon, assuming
You get
access is not a problem.
Assuming you get there. There you go.
And we already had the Joint Loss Management Committee. The next meeting for the Joint Loss Management will be April 10th. Parks and Rec.
Awesome.
Planning Board, we do know that the Planning Board does not anticipate having any warrant articles for the warrant,
Nope.
for town meeting. Web training, we talked about that. However, let me just stop right here and say, Clifton, Jennifer brought up the issue of email, and they don't recommend that we have it forwarded to personal email, that the email should come to the town. We should come to the town, turn on the computer and check them.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
You can
And
check
make
through
a-
webmail, you don't have to come to the town, but
Anyway, my point is just, we didn't want to make a decision until you got here.
Oh, that's fine. That's what I said we should be doing anyway. That needs to come to here, and we need to check our email here.
or it can be done remotely as well.
Yeah, the web.
I mean,
No,
don't feel as you have to come, because we don't want to think people coming in once a week or so. I mean, it can easily be done remotely.
now, the other question we came to was the Virginia, the elected officials, because they go into the same ground.
Right. We talked about the tax collector and the town clerk. They set their own rules. We can encourage them to do it this way.
No. They don't set all of their own rules. They don't even set their own budgets. We set their budgets. They set their hours.
Well, the voters actually voted on their salary.
And the vote, well, and the voters, the townspeople vote them in. The townspeople vote their salaries,
Anyway,
and the townspeople can vote their hours.
we were gonna discuss it with them.
Their emails can be set up just like ours. They can access it remotely. There's no problem.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
I mean, they're set up now. I just want to know if I get reluctance. I just want it to be
No.
a
The
consistent
selectmen,
decision against all. And
Yeah, see-
there's been some reluctance, even not from elected officials. Some other departments, employed departments, have given reluctance to have a town email. They didn't want another one, they want to use a personal one. So we're just looking for direction and
why don't we have a motion? It'll be a matter of record that the selectmen.
Well, it's just like the town mail. The town mail is supposed to come to the townhouse.
Except
Not
for
to-
the
not-
tax collector and the town, tax collector and the town clerk get
I
town
still-
mail
I-
at their homes.
I still find that wrong,
I don't agree with it, but
because they've got town business going into a personal mailbox, which is wrong.
I agree,
Okay. I just want to be on record with that.
but they're probably not gonna change.
Not until I can
Anybody,
find a way to
somebody like
mandate
to
it.
make a motion so that she's got some documentation.
I make a
back?
motion that all emails be set up on town computers and not forwarded to personal emails.
so all will be at the @brookfieldnh.org domain.
Correct.
Okay.
Question?
Are you-
Second? Just
Thank you.
speaking purposes.
Discussion.
So if a person wants to post something on theirs and gives their personal home email, that's not going to be allowed
On the website?
on the website.
No.
Based on that motion, no. And that's what we are looking, that's our recommendation. And our recommendation is also that all committee members don't have emails up there. You have the chairman and maybe an assistant. And then they can forward that email to personal email addresses.
I mean,
But the group email should come to an @Brookfield NH.
I mean, you can see the other side of it. You can see the convenience it is for the town to be able to call some of these people at home. If those people conduct business at home. And now, I'm just saying, there are some people that might call about their taxes. I've heard some people say, hey, they call the tax collector if they want to answer it, and they'll answer them at home. Some people are used to that, instead of certain days that they're only here.
They can still call them
Phone as
home.
opposed to email?
Well, what's the difference then? If you got the email, why wouldn't you have the telephone?
Email is a legal document.
It's the legal
It's
issue.
a legal, it's
No,
it's public information.
And they can check it still from home?
Yeah.
Through the
Okay.
webmail, so, and would hope they would.
And only the chairman and the assistant should have the emails. Not every person that's on the committee or commission should have
That's how we
the
have
email.
it configured, I just want to
Right.
make sure that's how.
Yeah, and it's password
it's,
protected.
you know, how you want it done.
Just like all emails for the select board should go to the sitting chair.
Yeah.
And, you know, because,
And that's the hope, is that, and I think it's good if, say, we have a turnover of people. You really have that log now here, but if you have personal email, just so I didn't even bring this point up before, but it is, the other person may not have that whole chain of emails, and if it comes in, that history is so valuable. If it's a department email as opposed to a Hotmail or a Roadrunner or one of
Right.
those, that belongs to that person, not to the position.
Well, that made me think when you were talking, because I sent an email to the guy for Time Warner to take it home on my personal computer. So while you were all talking, I said, ooh, no, wait a minute now. It should have been done
Well,
differently.
that's, and you're not the chair though, so you wouldn't have an @Brookfield NH, in theory, email address. So,
I am, and I'm not. Frank was elected chair. Frank sent a letter in to resign as chair.
oh,
Frank
this is as
never-
cable committee.
Cable committee. Frank
Okay,
never
sorry.
accepted that. And we never met to accept it, and now he's back into it again, so who's chair, I don't know. But so I said it as a selectman, not as a cable member, not as cable chairman to avoid a problem.